truth is that nearly 62% of healthcare organizations are planning to invest further in AI in the near future, and 72% of companies believe that AI will be fundamental to the way they do business going forward. And personally, I think that's absolutely no surprise at all. We're obviously emerging from a pandemic, and the uncertain environment that the pandemic has created will lead us to not just a new normal, but a series of new normals. And this continued uncertainty, I believe, is the exact sort of environment that a technology like AI will actually thrive and be absolutely essential to us. As humans, it's near impossible for us to comprehend the changing world that's ahead of us, which of course is dependent on so many external factors, and of course the huge barrage of information which each of us within our organizations have to now contend with. Medical research flying through the roof in terms of the amount of information that any single individual, data from so many sources, all of which needs to be understood in order to determine the best next step forward.
Merck, we are, a science and technology company. So we started embarking towards this digital journey since several years. And like you rightly said, we invested in several areas. One is in commercial, because in the healthcare space, we believe that patients are the center of everything that we do. So enabling like the HCP and our commercial sales rep to provide a better service or a better knowledge to the patient themselves, that's obviously helped all of us, helps the life of the patient, helps the overall healthcare community. That's why we developed several solutions in that area. Balancing the two elements is really a fine way on how to manage the AI. That brings me to the point that when we talk about AI, and I talk it several times with my friend and partner Michele there, it's not about the what, it's really about the how. We all know what to do. Is how we do it is that makes the differentiator really in every single company. And then, so if the challenge is really how to balance scale with adoption, what is the solution? The solution for me, for us has been the following, is that treat this project not as technology project, but really as a change management process. And that is where it makes a difference. And I can tell you that we implemented in several countries, several therapeutic areas and whatever. And success has always been correlated where we had better change management. Failure has always been correlated where the change management was not properly done. And of course, we had success and failure across our journey. But the learning has been that, if you want to be successful, it's all about change management. Technology is a commodity in these days. You can find technology solution everywhere. It's tailor-made the technology to the right process, doing a proper change management that makes a difference in really success.
We created a digital team, a digital head, innovative, we call it a digital medicine team, which has been also created across different teams and across different geographies, and it now more than 50 people around our territories. Now, in my view, and by the way, we also wanted to see how differentiated we were versus others by starting to run significant ATU market researches to see how physicians were actually reacting to our new way of promoting differentially from other companies in certain areas. Because I think a company of our size needs to be very focused. We cannot be everywhere. We need to decide where we want to play and then disproportionately invest. And therefore, we also wanted to see how, if we started to win any digital awards across our markets, because I think that's also, apart from what physicians tell us directly in our market research, it's also a way to see how the external world reacts to ourselves. And we started to actually see a dramatic increase of those awards in different countries, especially the ones where we are disproportionately investing. But I believe that in this space, considering where we started and where we were 3 years ago, we were pretty much nowhere in digital. I rather prefer to have the teams experiencing the beauties of applying artificial intelligence and digital in general, rather than say we're going to be cutting costs by 20% or we're going to be faster by 20%. I think we'll learn it, and then we'll be more refined when it comes to setting specific targets.
From our side, we started on commercial, but then soon we developed AI solution for supply chain. We did quite some work in that direction because we believe that AI in balancing supply versus demand in today's world is fundamental, again, to serve the patient, and then definitely R&D. I mean, everywhere when we are talking about data and how to correlate those data into insight, obviously is AI where they play a role. So we balance the three elements, and again, we try to learn from one functional knowledge to the other, and try to reapply and share talents across the different units, because that's also important. And then there is another element that definitely we have seen it with AI, but also with the COVID, that, like Pierluigi said, it's a disgrace, but there are some opportunities. The collaboration element. So collaborating across industry, collaborating across companies in order to better serve whatever customer, patient, or healthcare. And I truly believe that's the future. The future is really collaborate within the boundaries of the single company.
It means really that we need to go beyond specific tools in the hands of specialists to enabling the right AI capabilities to be adopted at scale within pharma organization. So from specialization of IT to scale adoption capability. And I would sum that up as the culture of AI enabling pharma to really reach its next phase. And if we go back to what was shared, right, in 2019, for example, Pierluigi described that journey. He puts in a bold ambition to do digital. I would say pharma today has been doing digital, but is it digital? So how do we enable as technology leaders pharma to be digital? Because it's a key moment in time. If you think about a couple of data points, 7 out of 10 patients expect healthcare to be delivered digitally. Digital front doors for new modalities, easy to access, quite safe, quite convenient from the living room. When I look at idea, I've been fascinated to think about, oh my God, we are really going to save time, to increase and expand time, both for the people that sell those products and for the healthcare professionals that need to maximize the time that actually they spend with patients. So for me, that is what really excites me, beyond the marketing stories that oftentimes, one asks, does it apply to me? Let's be needs driven.
We think that today pharma companies have embraced AI and invested a lot in AI, but they've done that primarily in the R&D space, and that's for a very good reason. But when it comes to the commercial side, the marketing and sales area, which is our focus, maybe today the major part of the industry is still at what they call the POC phase. Okay, let's try, test it, let's do a POC. So this is where we see the industry, and where the industry needs to move forward to a more scale point of view. And I think that in this respect, in the next few years, the vision that we have is that the keyword is adoption. The real keyword is adoption. If we need people to use AI, we need to trigger adoption, because AI and the tools are changing our habits, much in the same way that today we don't rent movies, but we log onto Netflix. Okay, so we need to change our habits. So adoption is the key, because we need our people, our reps, our MSLs, our medical affairs, our marketing people, and all the people that work in commercial to embrace that and to use that. The first step we've done to follow this adoption for the vision we have for the future was to create solutions that are really easy to use and easy to adopt. And I think that Alessandro sort of shared his experience on that. But then the next move for us was to really revolutionize the solutions by creating a new generation of solutions that goes beyond the traditional concept of CRM, ERP integration towards a new concept where there is an ecosystem that is based on three important pillars. The first is AI as a foundation, or AI driving everything. The second is data integration, which is very, very important today. We need to collect and integrate all the data inside and outside the company, digital, big data. And third, to have solutions which are specific for our industry.
Obviously, the challenge has been different ones. So first of all, this has not been like plug-in. So we've been working together with Trueblue in the last 3-4 years, and we had different version and different learning throughout the story that were both technological learnings and both methodological learnings. And so, like I said before, the key word was agility, in the sense of changing the course of adopting the technology and changing the course how to do the change management.
We don't want to confuse a pilot with a POC. Okay? So for me, it's very important, what is the purpose of the pilot, or what is not the purpose? The pilot has not the purpose to test whether it works, it's good enough, it's not good enough, okay? Because that would be a POC, it would not be a pilot. The purpose of the pilot is to tailor the solution to the specific company, okay? So it means from the configurations to setting up the change management, seeing the reaction, see how it impacts the strategy in order to fine-tune the subsequent implementation, the subsequent scaling. So the message here, the pilot needs to be a moment where you fine-tune the solution, not where you test whether an AI-based solution works for you or not.
That he is on the go and needs to have that experience all in one place. That is, to me, the keyword and the gatekeeper of adoption. And adoption at scale, which in turn leads to scaled capabilities in the organization. So let's make sure as technologists, as solution providers, that we are integrating into the workflow what I would call the day in a life, as we have seen, of a sales rep. That, to me, is what drives value.